Hello everybody and welcome to All Nighter. I'm your host, Eliot Linton. Thank you all so much for joining us. I know it's a busy time for everybody, but I like to think we're a pretty good study break. I'd rank us like 2 overall, just above Murray Dodge Cookies and a little below weeping on pages of revisions. But we've got a really exciting lineup tonight. Our professor guest and talent guest is music professor Dan Truman. So we're going to bring him up and interview him and then send him back and then bring him up and he's going to fiddle for us. Really. Dan Truman plays the Hardanger fiddle and he has worked with groups like Plork, QQQ, Trollstilt, and maybe some other groups that don't sound like they're set in a mythical gnome kingdom. Our student guests are the women's basketball co-captains. Blake Dietrich and Mariah Smith. Sorry, I taped that really confusingly for you guys, but they're worth 2 woos. They led the Tigers to an unbelievable, undefeated regular season, and then got the highest seed in the NCAA tournament in Ivy League history. And so I look very much forward to the interview while I will sit in awestruck silence in front of them and think of nothing to say, because they are angels on this earth. But I can't do any of this alone, so I'd like to welcome out my good friend and co-host, Mr. Jake Robertson. What happened with the tank? I thought you finished your thesis.
Oh, I know, Eliot. I poured my soul into that thesis. So much of my soul, in fact, that my thesis became sentient. So I bought this shirt. Thesis life is real! And since then, it won't stop talking to me in Russian.
Then you might just take some yellow drink.
You're going back.
Well, before we get started talking about the news, I'd like to say something that I think that is probably on all of our minds this week, and it's, I bet Ted Cruz loved Princeton Urban Congo. Now, not because he's racist, which sure, he is, but because this week, Ted Cruz is not the most embarrassing thing to come out of Princeton. He's very grateful for that.
Ted Cruz.
Would you ever vote for Ted Cruz?
Eliot, I'm not voting. What kind of a country do we live in which Penelope Cruz has to have a sex change just to run for president?
Gosh, I don't know. Terrace changed their smoking policy so that now you can only smoke in the TV room and otherwise it's prohibited throughout the club. And thanks to these new rules, we can expect that the building will stop smelling like smoke by late 2058.
Only the TV room, huh? Well, at least I can catch up on my episodes of Saved by the Bell. Ooh, Mario Lopez.
Malia Obama was on campus this week where she received a tour from Shawan Jackson.
Yeah.
Malia's dad wanted to come, but he was nervous to meet the president. The hose bicker referendum failed to pass this month after a really close vote. It was 53% of people voted in support of bicker, 47% against bicker. So now we all know that we can still bicker and still feel justifiably upset that bicker exists at all, which is progress? I don't know.
Hose bicker? Shoot. I voted on horse bicker. And of course I gave it a nay!
I think that's judicious because if you get hosed in horse bicker, you turn into glue. These are the facts.
Big horse lovers in the audience. Ranchers.
So it's come to light that a midwife from Butte, Idaho, who died in about 1960, was selling thousands of babies to adoptive parents for like really low prices. Authorities were shocked and horrified when they found out, but the Federal Reserve has been printing babies non-stop to return the market to equilibrium.
Yeah, I had almost filled my punch card that she gave me. I was going to get my 10th baby free.
I always forget that you have children.
Yeah, that's because they live with my ex-wife and her live-in roommate, Rhonda.
4 people were injured in a bee attack this month in Florida. Would have been an A attack at Harvard. And that's our groaner for the night.
There will be more.
a 116-year-old woman named Gertrude Weaver from Arkansas died this week after living for a mere 6 days as the oldest person on the planet. Weaver celebrated her brief time as world's oldest person by sitting and breathing.
116 years old, that's amazing. Eliot, do you realize that means she could have had sex with our hottest president, Calvin Coolidge?
You and I do not share taste in American presidents.
Are you a Harding man?
I'm hard for Harding. That was the second. So, Earth received some mysterious signals from outer space this month, which some astronomers legitimately believe may originate from alien life. The signals read, "Are you up?" followed by 10 million light years of silence. Scientists are at a loss, but local teams are working hard to parse the subtext.
A lot of local teens. I invited every local teen I know, so they're going to get a talking to.
So in Pullman, Washington, a dog was hit by a car and then buried by her family, only to mysteriously reappear 4 days later after having apparently clawed herself out of the grave. But the dog seems fine, except you can't see her in mirrors, and she's actually eaten everyone in town.
It took that dog 4 years to rise from the dead. Jesus would have done it in 3 days.
And finally, Burger King announced on Monday that it will pay for the wedding of 2 people named Joel Burger and Ashley King. Actually. And Taco Bell responded by reminding people of their long-standing offer to pay for anyone's wedding whose name is explosive diarrhea.